Look, I was skeptical as hell. I mean, how many times has Elon promised self-driving next year, only for next year to come and go? But guys, something actually insane is happening now. That's not a camera trick. That's not CGI. That's a freaking empty Tesla confidently cruising through Tesla's Giga Texas complex. No driver, no remote control, just AI making every decision. And coming in June, Tesla Unsupervised is going public on actual streets in Austin, Texas. Empty cars, picking up real passengers. Is this a massive leap forward or a disaster waiting to happen? Because let's be real, this isn't just some tech bro fantasy anymore. This is happening in our world, on the same roads where you drive your kids to school. So here's the deal. I'm breaking down everything you need to know about Tesla's unsupervised launch. Not the hype, not the doom scenarios, but the actual reality of where this technology stands right now and whether any of us should trust our lives to it. Stick around, because whether you're a Tesla fan, a skeptic, or just someone who drives on public roads, what's about to happen in Austin is going to affect you one way or another. Before we talk about where Tesla's self-driving technology is going, let's look at where it is today. If you've watched my previous videos, you know I've been testing Tesla's full self-driving system for years now. And the progress has been, well, let's say remarkable, but uneven. I'll never forget my first experience with Tesla's FSD beta 3 years ago. I was on a busy intersection in downtown Atlanta, and the car hesitated before making a left turn. My heart was pounding as I hovered my hands over the wheel, not knowing if I should take over. The car eventually made the turn perfectly, but that moment of uncertainty, that feeling of surrendering control, has stayed with me. The current FSD system that's available to Tesla owners requires constant supervision. That means you need to keep your eyes straight ahead, be attentive, and be ready to take over at any moment. Despite the name full self-driving, it's still technically a level 2 autonomous system, not the level 4 or 5 that would qualify as truly driverless. But something interesting is happening right now at Tesla's factories. At both the Fremont factory in California and Giga Texas in Austin, Tesla is already using what they're calling FSD unsupervised to move newly manufactured vehicles around their facilities. These Teslas, both Model Ys and now even Cybertrucks, are driving themselves from the end of the production line to the outbound logistics lot without human drivers. According to Tesla's own recent statements, they've already accumulated over 50,000 driverless miles between their California and Texas factories. Let me emphasize this point. Tesla already has cars driving themselves without human supervision. They're just not on public roads yet. But that's about to change dramatically. So what exactly is Tesla planning to launch this June in Austin, Texas? According to Elon Musk and Tesla's public statements, they're planning to launch unsupervised full self-driving as a paid service in Austin. Musk specified during Tesla's earnings call in January that this will be unsupervised. That means no one will be in the car driving. June in Austin isn't just about the launch of Tesla unsupervised. It's essentially the largest, most public AI experiment in history. Think about it. Most AI systems operate in digital environments where mistakes mean lost data or inefficient processes. Tesla's AI will be controlling 2-ton vehicles on the same roads where our children ride their bikes. The stakes couldn't be higher, and that's precisely why this moment represents such a pivotal threshold in technology history. This won't just be a test or a demonstration. It's planned to be a commercial service that people can pay to use, similar to Uber or Lyft, but without human drivers. Tesla plans to deploy a fleet of their existing vehicles, offering paid rides in a geo-fenced area around Austin. For context, this is actually quite similar to what Waymo, owned by Google's parent company Alphabet, has been doing for several years in Phoenix, San Francisco, and now even in Austin itself. The major difference is that Tesla relies entirely on cameras for its system, while Waymo uses LiDAR, radar, and other sensors in addition to cameras. What's particularly interesting is that this represents something of a pivot for Tesla. For years, Elon Musk has been promising that all Tesla vehicles built since 2016 would eventually be capable of full self-driving through software updates. He even criticized Waymo's geo-fenced approach as too limited to scale. Yet here we are, with Tesla's first commercial deployment of unsupervised driving, looking remarkably similar to Waymo's approach. A limited service in a specific geographic area. Another important detail, while Tesla says there will be no one in the car, they've been hiring for teleoperation positions. This suggests that humans will still be monitoring these driverless Teslas remotely and potentially taking control if the AI encounters a situation it can't handle. Again, similar to how competitors like Waymo operate their autonomous fleets. But regardless of these nuances, the fact remains that in just a few weeks, we could see empty Teslas driving around Austin, picking up passengers and delivering them to destinations without a human behind the wheel. Let's take a closer look at what Tesla is already doing with autonomous driving at their factories, because it offers fascinating insights into the technology's current capabilities. At Giga Texas, Tesla's vehicles now autonomously navigate a 1.4-mile trip from the production line to the outbound logistics lot. This isn't just a simple path. It involves navigating roads shared with pedestrians, cars, semi-trucks, and construction equipment. Recently, Joe Techmeyer's drone footage captured something pretty cool. At Giga Texas, 5 self-driving Tesla Model Ys smoothly maneuvered around a parked delivery truck. They handled it like pros, each one figuring out the obstacle, talking to the others, and moving in sync to keep things rolling. Showed off some seriously impressive coordination, just like they'd need on actual streets. That sound, the sound of emergency braking, was heard over 8,000 times last year in Tesla vehicles, where FSD likely prevented an accident before the human driver even realized danger was present. But you don't see those headlines, do you? Recent footage released by Tesla shows these driverless vehicles confidently maneuvering through this complex environment. The Model Y navigates turns, yields to other vehicles, and maintains appropriate speeds, all without anyone inside. And it's not just the Model Y. The Cybertruck is now also driving itself through what Tesla calls the Cybertunnel at Giga Texas, a 0.6-mile route that goes beneath one of America's fastest highways and emerges through a steep 17% grade to reach its destination. What's particularly remarkable is how normal these driverless vehicles are starting to look around the factory. According to observers and drone footage from the site, seeing a car with no driver is becoming an everyday occurrence at Giga Texas. This suggests that, at least in this controlled environment, Tesla's FSD unsupervised system has reached a level of reliability where the company is comfortable using it routinely for operational purposes. And remember, Tesla has now logged over 50,000 driverless miles between their California and Texas factories. That's significant real-world experience that's informing the development of their consumer-facing, unsupervised FSD system. But factory grounds are one thing. Public roads in a bustling city like Austin, that's a whole different challenge. Now here's where things get really interesting. No matter how good the technology is, self-driving cars won't succeed without public acceptance. So where do we stand on that front? My first FSD video really got people talking. There were 2 main reactions. Some thought I was taking a big risk trusting the system, while others were excited to try it out themselves. This split pretty much sums up how people in general feel about this technology right now. Public opinion on Tesla's FSD is mixed, to say the least. Among Tesla owners who've purchased FSD, reactions range from enthusiastic support to profound disappointment. Some owners describe the current supervised version as life-changing and believe it's already safer than human drivers in many scenarios. Others call it immensely overpriced for what it currently delivers, expressing frustration that the full self-driving promise has taken so long to materialize. My folks' reactions to Tesla's full self-driving Supervised really showed how differently people feel about self-driving cars. My dad is super traditional about driving and wouldn't even sit in the driver's seat when it was doing its thing. He's just not into giving up control to a computer. Mum, though, she loves it. She thinks it's safer and way more convenient and always chooses to be a passenger when FSD is on. This huge difference between them, Dad being super cautious and Mum totally trusting it, basically sums up the gap we see with these cars. It's not just them either. Older people tend to be more wary, probably because they've driven a long time and like having control. Younger folks who grew up with tech are usually more open to it and see the perks like less stress and maybe even safer roads. All of this just shows how much we, as a society, need to figure out as self-driving tech keeps getting better and becoming a part of our lives. The psychology of trust in autonomous systems follows a fascinating pattern that researchers call the autonomy acceptance curve. Initially, we see high skepticism, followed by cautious curiosity, then a dramatic crisis of confidence after the first publicized failure, and finally, if the technology proves itself, a rapid surge to widespread adoption. Tesla's self-driving tech is really interesting right now, with tons of potential, but also some potential dangers. Public reaction to the recent accident in Austin is going to be key in deciding what happens next with self-driving cars. It could really boost confidence or just make people even more unsure. Tesla's full self-driving really stirs up different feelings depending on who you ask. Owners tend to think it does well on highways, but lots of people are worried about how it handles city streets. This is a big deal since they're about to try letting it drive on its own in Austin, which is definitely a city place. There's also the question of trust. Several high-profile crashes involving Tesla's autopilot and FSD systems have made headlines over the years, and the company has faced scrutiny from regulators, including the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. But perhaps the most interesting aspect of public perception is how quickly it can change once people actually experience the technology. We've seen this with Waymo's service. Initial skepticism often gives way to acceptance and even enthusiasm after people take their first ride in a truly driverless vehicle. This is why Tesla's June launch in Austin is so crucial. It represents the first time the general public will be able to experience Tesla's vision of unsupervised self-driving, not as drivers who need to monitor the system, but as passengers who can sit back and simply experience the ride. If these rides go smoothly, if people have positive experiences being driven around by empty Teslas, it could dramatically accelerate public acceptance of self-driving technology. On the other hand, if there are high-profile incidents, or if the service doesn't meet expectations, it could set back not just Tesla, but the entire autonomous vehicle industry. This is why I believe the true test in Austin won't be technical, it will be psychological. Can Tesla convince the public that a car without a driver is not just functional, but trustworthy? That's the real challenge. Beyond public perception, Tesla faces significant technical and regulatory challenges with its unsupervised FSD launch. On the technical side, there's been ongoing debate about Tesla's camera-only approach versus the more sensor-rich strategies employed by competitors like Waymo. Tesla calls its approach pure vision, relying entirely on cameras and neural networks to understand and navigate the world. What you're seeing isn't a tech demo or carefully edited promotional footage. This is Tesla's unsupervised FSD handling the same situations you encounter every day, except with no human at the wheel. Look at the precision of these maneuvers. Critics argue that additional sensors like LiDAR provide crucial redundancy for safety, while Tesla counters that humans drive using only vision, so machines should be able to as well. The June launch will be the most significant real-world test of Tesla's vision-only philosophy. There's also the hardware question. Tesla recently admitted that vehicles with their Hardware 3 computers, which includes millions of Teslas on the road today, will not be capable of unsupervised self-driving, despite previous promises to the contrary. This raises questions about whether even the current Hardware 4 vehicles will ultimately be sufficient for true autonomy. On the regulatory front, Tesla has needed to secure various permits and approvals to operate driverless vehicles in Texas. The regulatory landscape for autonomous vehicles is still evolving, with different states taking different approaches. Texas has generally been business-friendly regarding autonomous vehicle testing, but commercial deployment is another matter. Tesla will need to navigate complex insurance requirements, liability considerations, and ongoing compliance with state regulations. It's worth noting that Tesla has apparently obtained the necessary permits to move forward with their June launch, suggesting they've made progress on the regulatory front. But as with the technology itself, the regulatory environment will continue to evolve as unsupervised vehicles become more common on public roads. Let's zoom out for a moment and consider what Tesla's unsupervised FSD launch represents in the broader context of transportation and society. We're not just witnessing the evolution of cars, we're watching the extinction of driving as a human activity. Self-driving technology isn't just about convenience or even safety, though those are certainly important benefits. It's about fundamentally reshaping how we think about mobility, city planning, car ownership, and even our relationship with technology. Tesla isn't just removing the driver from the equation, they're removing doubt from our relationship with AI. If Tesla succeeds in deploying truly autonomous vehicles at scale, it could accelerate several major shifts that are already underway. First, the transition from car ownership to transportation as a service. If reliable self-driving taxis become available, many people, especially in urban areas, may decide they no longer need to own a vehicle. Second, changes in urban design. Cities might need fewer parking spaces but more passenger loading zones. Traffic patterns could change as autonomous vehicles potentially coordinate with each other to optimize flow. Self-driving cars will significantly impact the job market. While new tech jobs will emerge for software and sensor management, many driving jobs, such as taxi, trucking, and delivery roles, are at risk. The pace of this shift will depend on regulations, technological advancements, public acceptance, and retraining efforts for displaced workers. Investing in training programs is essential to mitigate potential job losses. Our response to this transformation will ultimately determine the overall benefit of self-driving cars. The scariest thing about self-driving cars isn't that they might make mistakes, it's that they might make fewer mistakes than we do. And finally, a shift in how we spend our time. The average American spends roughly an hour driving each day. Self-driving technology could potentially give people that time back for work, rest, or entertainment. I'm going to do something now that would have seemed absolutely insane just 5 years ago. Tesla's June launch in Austin is just one step in this much larger journey, but it's a significant one. It represents the moment when one of the world's most valuable companies puts its vision of autonomous transportation to the test in the real world, with real passengers on public roads. So, returning to our original question, are we ready for Tesla unsupervised? The honest answer is that we don't know yet. The technology has made remarkable progress, as evidenced by Tesla's driverless operations at its factories. But public roads present infinitely more complexity and edge cases. Public perception remains mixed, with enthusiasm among some Tesla fans counterbalanced by skepticism from others. The regulatory framework is still evolving, and important questions about liability and safety standards are still being worked out. What we do know is that in June, in Austin, Texas, we'll see the most significant test yet of Tesla's approach to self-driving. Empty Teslas will begin picking up passengers as part of a commercial service, representing what Elon Musk has called the first time there will be a generalized, pure AI solution to autonomy. Whether this launch proves to be a watershed moment in transportation history or just another incremental step along the way will depend not just on the technology itself, but on how we as a society respond to it. What do you think? Are we ready for vehicles driving themselves without human supervision? Would you be comfortable getting into a Tesla with no driver? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to stay updated on the latest developments in Tesla's self-driving technology and other innovations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.